The Fall of Gloria. Gloria had once been a force of light, a woman who carried divine grace within her very being. Her presence was a blessing to those around her, a beacon of wisdom and purity. She was destined for greatness, her spirit intertwined with a powerful divine masculine, a man who had been sent to walk beside her on a sacred path. But fate, impulsive decisions and wrong choices can lead to fragile things. And sometimes, even the most radiant souls can fall into darkness. The betrayal. Gloria had everything she needed, a divine partner, a sacred purpose, and a heart overflowing with celestial energy. But the whispers of temptation became too strong to ignore. She had always craved passion, excitement, and the rush of forbidden pleasures. When the moment came to choose between her divine path and the fleeting ecstasy of mortal indulgence, she hesitated. And in that hesitation, she fell. She betrayed her divine masculine with a younger than stable and irresponsible man, a Jezebel demonic spirit who cloaked the energy of her divine partner to lure and trap her into a life of lust and pleasure built on black magic and spells and clouding decisions, intuition and judgment of the reality. He ignited a lustful temptations, feeding attached lustful energies in her vessel and body to the dark magic of the karmic Jezebel spirit. She was in her late 40s while he was in his early 30s. He grew jealousy and envy of her relationship with her divine partner, and he has worked hard to destroy that relationship and stability using enablers, fake frenemies that she had, a group of losers. Codependency was sky high and they all had sexual identity crisis. Though sexuality is a personal preference, but their energies were bad, and her divine partner has constantly warned her about some of them, yet she never listened. So he grew bored of repeating the same broken record, and he decided to let her be in hopes that she gets to see what he saw in them, but she had to experience it firsthand to understand it and grasp the truth. So she took a firm decision impulsively, without weighing the scales or understanding where she is diving, and ran towards the arms of the devil himself, chasing karmic lust and pleasures that were built on black magic and clouding decisions, intuition and judgment of the reality. She didn't listen to her intuition, nor listened to the signs that her spirit guides were pointing her to consider. Remember, we as beings have free will, and therefore you are given choices in life. God has put her on a path of redemption, a path of creation, or rather in her case co-creation with someone who had been chosen to stand by her side. Help her break her lineage curses and heal from her past traumas and create a change in her life and set an example for future generations, especially in a family deeply rooted in demonic practices and rituals. Instead, she turned away the stability of their connection and chased after karmic lovers, men and women who promised adventure, lust, and the thrill of the unknown. She sought them in shadowed places, losing herself in the chaos of earthly desires and endless sinful flesh experiences that promised fleeting pleasures but brought only misery and despair. She was drawn into a cycle of betrayal and lust, and the darkness within her was consumed by the dark magic of the karmic Jezebel spirits. But with every touch that wasn't meant for her, with every whispered lie she told herself to justify her choices, the light within her dimmed. Her divine masculine, the man who had once stood beside her with unwavering devotion, felt the rift between them widen. He had warned her. He had begged her to see the truth, not out of weakness, rather out of a divine guide and purpose. He suffered far too many cycles of ghosting, toxicity, and betrayals with her, but decided to challenge himself, trying to fix the potential of what could have been. Until one day, he had enough. He had no more energy saving or pouring anything into someone who refuses to save her own self. But Gloria had been too blinded by temptation to hear his cries. And so, he walked away, his heart shattered, feeling disgusted, feeling ashamed of taking this toxic and stressful challenge in the first place. She never deserved someone as pure as he is. She was unfortunately nothing to his level, but then again, he knew that there was a purpose for him meeting someone like her, and he was destined to find her. But he could not bring himself to accept her fate. He left her, never to return. He poured so much energy, love, efforts in making this work as part of challenging himself, trying. He dimmed his own light to make her feel important, loved, and needed. She was nothing but a broken soul, used and abused since she was a child. She had been caught in a never-ending loop of self-destruction, a cycle of betrayal, lust, and loss. The same group that surrounded her had two major influences on her. She knew them back when she was 14, and they had been her life, and she had loved them and thought strongly in them, thinking that they had her best interest, even though they were the same people who got her into nothing but trouble, drug abuse, demonic attachments, thefts. But now, they were the same ones who had betrayed her and left her in the shadows, a ghost of a woman that could have been a force of light. They were envious of her potential, seeing how stable and peaceful she turned being with her divine partner. They swore to break her and attract her back to their low vibrational demonic realm and lifestyle. The loss of divinity. The moment he left, Gloria felt it, the hollow emptiness creeping into her soul. The connection to the divine, the warmth of her celestial gifts, the clarity of her vision, it all faded like mist in the morning sun. Her dreams, once filled with messages from the heavens, became silent. Her intuition, once sharp and undeniable, became clouded with confusion. She was no longer protected, no longer chosen. And the karmic lovers she had chased, they had only ever been illusions. Their passion was shallow, their promises empty. Each one took a piece of her, leaving her drained, lost, and desperate for the power she had once wielded effortlessly. She tried to reclaim it. She sought out rituals, prayed to unseen forces, and begged for forgiveness. But the divine does not take lightly to betrayal. Gloria had made her choice, and the heavens had made theirs. The haunting consequences. As the months passed, Gloria found herself trapped in a cycle she couldn't escape. The same meaningless encounters, the same hollow love affairs. She was drawn to both men and women who mirrored her own brokenness, men who used her, discarded her, and left her longing for the peace she had once known. One night, she woke up in the darkness, her heart pounding, sweat slick on her skin. She heard the sound of something spinning, relentless and unceasing. Stumbling from her bed, she followed the noise into the small laundry room of her apartment. Her washing machine was running, but the lid was open. She stared at it, unable to comprehend what she was seeing. The machine should have stopped. It should have been impossible for it to keep going. But it spun wildly, the word cancel flashing on the screen over and over again. Gloria reached out, pressing every button she could, trying to stop the cycle, but nothing worked. The machine refused to listen, its deafening whirl echoing through the apartment. Panic clawed at her chest. Finally, she yanked the plug from the socket, expecting the chaos to cease. But it didn't. The machine kept spinning. A wave of nausea rolled over her. It was a message, a warning. She had been caught in a never-ending loop of self-destruction. A cycle of betrayal, lust, and loss, and now, the universe was demanding that she end it. For the first time in years, Gloria collapsed to the floor and sobbed, not for the lovers who had come and gone, not for the passion she had chased in vain, but for what she had lost, her divinity, her connection, and the man who had been destined to walk beside her. She had chosen the world, and the world had devoured her. The final judgment. As dawn broke, Gloria sat in silence, staring at the unplugged machine that had finally gone still. The weight of her choices crushed her, suffocating in its finality. She had been given a sacred mission. She had been chosen for something greater. And she had thrown it all away. She got pregnant by a Jezebel spirit. She got herself in endless karmic bonds and karmic debts, and if this was not enough, she found out that she got a sexually transmitted disease on top. She had traded divinity for desire, love for lust, purpose for pleasure. Now, she was nothing more than a ghost in her own life, watching from the outside as those who had stayed true to their paths ascended without her. And the divine masculine, he had moved on. He had healed. He had stepped into his power, leaving her in the very shadows she had once embraced. Gloria had wanted freedom. Now, she was shackled by her own regret, shame, guilt eating her up from the inside. There would be no second chances, no redemption. The cycle had been cancelled, though God personally intervened twice, showing her messages, giving her signs, even putting people, places, and showing her synchronicities, name of her once divine partner. But she always thought that she can continue her life chasing those lustful temptations and material gains that now serve nothing on the scale. The divine cords are now severed and the karmic bonds are broken, and so shall be the cycle.